Not at all. The body is established to advise the government and primarily the Chief Minister in relation to a very wide remit which includes the governance of Gibraltar, matters covering public affairs, peace, order and good government, international obligations. Its remit is extremely wide. The appointees to the council, 10 of them, are all appointed by the Chief Minister. But the most important aspect is that the leader of they try and include the leader of the opposition to give some veneer of political correctness. But the leader of the opposition and all those members are under that same law asked to sign a total oath of secrecy and confidentiality on pain of going to prison. So we have a leader of the opposition. If he's told anything about the public debt in that committee, in that council, he can't even use it in Parliament. So it is not an overreaction, and it's certainly not hysterical. It is very measured.
But surely Mr. Vasquez, Mr. Feetham, in this case as leader of the opposition, can always say no, which is what he's done. And he frequently says that the government doesn't want to engage with the opposition in a meaningful way. Now that he has an opportunity to serve on a committee like this, he turns it down. Some might also say that if an issue were to come up in the council that Mr. Feetham considers should not be kept under the carpet, so to speak, he could always raise that objection or even leave the meeting. So isn't this a case of maybe you can't really win if you're the government? If you include the leader of the opposition, it's a trap, and if you don't, you're not consulting.
Oh, no. Consulting is one thing. Having a secret cabal of Chief Minister appointed individuals and ministers who are on the Chief Minister's side, who are bound by secrecy on pain of going to prison, is not consultation. That is shutting people up.
Wasn't this really just a case of Mr. Feetham grandstanding in Parliament because he thought it would look good to stand up and say that he was opposing this bill? After all, the government had said that it wanted to create this council during its first term of office when it published a command paper, and then it included it in its manifesto in 2015 rather prominently on page 15. So this is not something that would have caught the GSD by surprise. Why haven't you objected to it earlier?
We did. We have objected throughout to this concept, but the idea of confidentiality, secrecy and imprisonment has only come clear in this bill, and that is one of the issues which is primarily there. Now, if the comparison made by the Chief Minister in Parliament was that it was like the Privy Council. It's not at all like the Privy Council. The Privy Council is a very, very narrow remit, does not go into the politics of situations that are in the remit of Parliament. We have a parliamentary democracy with major shortcomings that I have spoken about in the past, and now this is an added shortcoming. So no, it's not grandstanding by anybody. It is a serious situation that people should take note of and worry about.
You described this council earlier as a cabal, and you were referring to the fact that former chief ministers and deputy chief ministers would be asked to serve on it. A very prominent member of that council, therefore, if you were to accept, would be Sir Peter Caruana, a former GSD leader, of course. Are you suggesting through these objections that you have that Sir Peter would in some way perhaps not have Gibraltar's best interests at heart, or that he would feel shackled if he were to be a member of this committee?
No, I'm not suggesting that at all. He has always had Gibraltar's best interest at heart. I don't say, and nothing that I have said indicates that people who go on that council don't have Gibraltar's best interest at heart. What I am saying is that it undermines democracy in Gibraltar to the extent that those people cannot publicly make statements. Now, if Sir Peter wishes to accept that, that is a decision for him. It's not for me to decide. But he will immediately shackle his ability to participate in many areas of public life and of policy in relation to any matter that is discussed at the council.
Aren't you just seeing shadows where there aren't any?
We will see. Time will tell, but I don't think so.